Hi, I'm Libby Gibson, Town Manager. Welcome to What's Going On in Town Government. So we are not at our usual locale. We are here at the 4 Fairgrounds Road Public Safety Facility in the training room on the 2nd floor because, why are we here? Oh, I remember now. Because I was out at meetings all day long. I didn't get done till just recently, and Gino and I agreed that we would meet out here because at 6 o'clock, I'm attending the Citizen Police Academy graduation. This is their 5th class. They have about 13 people in the class, and it's a nice wrap-up to the program. It's offered a couple of times a year, and I'm going to be putting an item about this in my May e-newsletter. So watch for that. Speaking of my e-newsletter, I just issued my April e-newsletter. Actually, Erica did, and but I wrote it. And it's online. You can subscribe to it. Go to the town website. Go to government. It's a link at the top. When government comes up, there's a bunch of departments listed. Click on administration, and on the left in a column, you'll see newsletter. Go there, and you can sign up, or you can look at what the prior newsletters. So it was an exciting day yesterday. We had the results of the election. Actually, this is probably the most low-key after-election, post-election meeting that I've ever seen. Normally, we have a 10 o'clock swearing-in ceremony the following day, and usually a big group of people show up because they want to see who's going to be elected chair and vice chair. I think there were maybe 6 people there, and they were all staff, except for 2 people from the newspaper and the selectmen. That's it. Nobody else. They were over and done with in approximately 5 or 6 minutes. It's the same chair and vice chair. Same incumbents were reelected. So it was all as if hardly there was an election.
Yeah.
It was interesting. But anyway, so forging ahead with the same board. We had that in the morning, and then in the evening, we had our regular meeting. It was public hearing Wednesday, and we had a number of public hearings for mostly liquor and entertainment-related items.
Do we want to talk a little bit about those?
Well, here's some interesting information. Millie's is seeking to alter their premises to add seating. They are currently at the planning board. I think when we did the show last week, they were at the planning board. They're still there. So we postponed the Millie's hearing until May 21st, when hopefully they will be through the planning board and we'll know one way or the other what the planning board did. Another application for a seasonal wine and beer package store license for a place called Pour La Table. I'm sure it's supposed to be French, more French sounding than that, at 16A Amelia Drive. That was also continued to May 21st because that group is at the ZBA, the Zoning Board of Appeals, and they're not through that process yet.
They have to rezone that area?
They need special permits to do these things, and they need to get that approval before they come to the board. So there were some other entertainment issues. There's a new entertainment license for Nantucket Prime, which is really the old Jared Coffin House. It's not actually a new license. It was a modified license, but it's in different ownership now. And
is this restaurant?
This is a restaurant. It's called Nantucket Prime.
Okay.
But it's the old Jared Coffin House.
Right.
It's still called
Not the tap room.
No, sadly, no, not the tap room.
Right.
Corazon Del Mar came in for a revised entertainment license too. I think they're mostly just having more music, more types of acoustical music. I hope I got that right. We also had an application for a junk dealer license. We haven't had one of these licenses before, so we're being very cautious in how we approve it or consider it. And the police department is requesting that the board adopt some rules and regulations regarding the license before they issue the license. That might, depending on the timing, take longer than the board. The board actually tabled that to May 21st.
Are you concerned that some of this junk might be hot?
Well, I'm not concerned about that, but it is a concern in general when these types of licenses are issued. The applicant seems very above board and open about his application, and it sounds perfectly legitimate, but in places where these types of licenses are issued, there are often rules and regulations about them, so we would like to get those in place. Alternatively, the board could potentially consider issuing the license or approving the license with some conditions that would mirror the regulations.
Now, when people think of junk, do we have any idea what kind of?
Well, it's technically called junk, old metals, and secondhand articles.
Okay. That's the name of it.
That's the name of the license.
That's the name of the, okay.
The applicant's name of his company is AC Traders and Company, and it would be located at 126A Old South Road.
126A. How far out?
That's out by Macy Lane, kind of.
Oh, okay.
So we also had, in other news, we did our third quarter fiscal 14 enterprise fund reports for the airport and the general fund. We had a couple of traffic safety recommendations, 2 of which were approved. One was continued to May 7th. And those were the highlights of the meeting. At our meet, we are not, what am I saying? We are meeting next week. We're not meeting the week after. Next week, we have some announcements. We have our auditors coming in to review the fiscal 13 audit with the board. He's already reviewed it several times with the audit committee, but the board asked that he come and give them a presentation so that it would be televised. The audit, by the way, is online. We have a coastal management plan work group, and they're coming in. They've been working hard since last fall. They're going to present the final draft of their coastal management plan for town-owned beaches. What else do we have here? We have some more public hearings. We have a couple of HDC appeals, but those are scheduled to be postponed to May 7th or continued to May 7th. We're having a public hearing to establish rules and regulations for town-owned cemeteries and regulations for the use of town pier and mooring permits. We have more quarterly fiscal year 14 reports for solid waste, sewer, and island home.
This is all next week?
This is all next week. We have a quarterly wastewater update. We're going to have a fast ferry shuttle update. I'm going to give the board a town administration activities update.
Wow.
Right, it's a lot.
It's going to be a big one.
It's going to be a big one. It's not going to be, when did we get out last night?
You don't have a meeting
We
after.
don't have a meeting the week after, and then we'll be back on May 7th. So that's
what's happening.
That's what's happening in town government. And did you schedule your Cape Cod tour yet?
As soon as it greens up.
As soon as it greens up, yes.
Yeah, there's no use going over there with it like.
Should we mention it?
Yes, mention it again.
So Gino's going to be doing a tour of Cape Cod towns so that we all can see what they're like, so can our visitors. And he's going to meet with the town managers. You're going to take them on a van drive.
If they'll go with you.
If they'll go with you. I have some takers.
Great.
I let them know that you're going to be calling them.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
And there's some takers.
We are going to get to know the Cape.
Yes.
This town is finally going to know what happens over there.
Finally.
It's about time.
I have no idea what happens over there. So, okay, yeah. Anything else? It's chilly today, Gino.
Yeah,
What is this?
Yeah.
I'm ready for warm weather.
You bet you are.
Yeah.
Well, we got to just hang in there until June.
We got to hang in until, it's going to be
15th,
June.
June 15th.
Is that when it's going to warm up?
That's it. I never
Yeah.
get excited until then. Serious.
Now I see why. Okay, so